We begin season number 25 of the Simulation Soccer League, and it is going to be a very fascinating season, I have no doubt. Hello, everyone. I am Metafiction, and as I say, we are here with the beginning of a new campaign here in the SSL. And of course, we start with some Major League Division 1 action. These are some would say the cream of the crop of the SSL, the very top division that we offer here, and it is going to be fascinating to see how the two newest teams that have been promoted, Catalunya and Jalahu, how they will fare against the teams that stayed up last season. Well, of course, Catalunya and Jalahu will play later, but first off, we take a trip to Iceland, where Reykjavik United will take on Shanghai Dragons FC. Shanghai, of course, had that title charge for most of the season, but ultimately fell just a little bit short. They'll have to really come out swinging to try and assert themselves back into this title race. Meanwhile, Reykjavik had a very down campaign by their standards, very nearly relegated. Did manage to save themselves at the last moment, but they'll be hoping for a better result this season. Will that have shocked them out of complacency, or is that a sign of things to come? Plenty of soccer to find out this season, but we are underway here in season 25 of the SSL, and immediately that chance just floated over the bar. There's a corner kick, Tentacles delivering it in for Reykjavik, and that header just fizzes over. Shaheen, the free kick from deep. And that's dealt with by Shanghai. Interesting note, this season we have expanded the schedule, and now teams will play each other 3 times rather than twice. So, going to be a very interesting development, an adaptation for these teams. Used to only play each other teams twice, but of course, with that extra meeting, just means a little bit more intrigue and another chance for rivals to knock each other off. Through ball by Miedema for Neymarinho, and Neymarinho shoots wide. And that is going to be a goal kick for Shanghai. Reykjavik on the front foot so far. Shanghai really impressive at times last season, starting a little slow in this match. We'll have to see if they can pick that up as Bunsen sprays it out to Atkinson. Atkinson in for Voda, and Marcel Voda puts it away. Well, as soon as I said something, 10 minutes in, Shanghai have the first goal of season 25. It was Albinson, who brought the ball down. The header went in for Voda, who absolutely buried it. And I tell you one thing, Marcel Voda, that is one hydrated player. Certainly gave him the edge that time. So now Shanghai first on the board, 1-0 after 10 minutes. Now here's Hohenhan, losing out to Mitadiero. Good pressing by Hohenhan, but doesn't get there. And now Reykjavik trying to build from the back. Skovgaard, Jematheus in pursuit. Good run up the wing here by Skovgaard, puts the cross in. Up into the air by the Shanghai defender. Derbatov has a go from, my goodness. Well, that is an equalizer if ever I've seen it. We have to see that again. It looked like it was dealt with here. It fell to Derbatov, and what a shot. Just curled around Takechi. There was really nothing Takechi could do about that. Just a brilliantly struck effort. My goodness. The that's how we're starting the season, then this is going to be one for the history books, let me tell you. Delvecchio to Johnson. Now Albinson. Delvecchio again in the box. Fires right at Chicken. Fiery Chicken with the good save, forcing the corner. And it is Johnson out to Albinson. Worked around to Jimothias. And now Johnson forces another corner. Johnson. Shaheen intercepts that pass for Albinson, and now up come Reykjavik. Cortista, though, losing out to Ali Bunsen. Albinson finds Bunsen. Jimothias can't get the header down. Shanghai started slow, but really look fired up now. Although that cross is wayward. Voda loses out. Here's Johnson. And that shot forces a good diving save out of Chicken. Reykjavik's turn with the set piece. Worked around. Cortista, and that's scrambled away. Now Reykjavik building momentum. Here's another set piece. Tentacles. Again out to the edge of the area, Neymariño. And Tentacles just losing control over it and was offside anyway. Well, both these teams going back and forth, trading chances. Still level up at 1-1. Here's another corner kick. Neymariño sends it back to Tentacles. Cross goes in, and Takechi able to rise above and get it out of the air. Durbatov had that incredible goal earlier in the half. Bruskin carrying it out of the back line, finds Rashford the second. Neymariño trying to get around Delvecchio, can't do it. Tentacles now with the mop up. Back to Rashford. Skovgaard at the edge of the area, and that's over the bar. Well, that was a well-worked chance for Reykjavik, but the finish just can't quite get there. Now Delvecchio to Albinson at the other end. Tentacles with a good challenge to nick the ball off of Albinson. You have to give it to Reykjavik so far. Even though they did concede first, they've buckled down since then. Haven't really given Shanghai too many clear chances. As here, they're being forced all the way back into their half after being at the end line. So very strong pressing here. Takechi will reset. Sliding challenge from Hohenheim to win the ball, and the break is on here. Shanghai have numbers. Here's Voda taking the touch and went for it himself and just scuffed it. Had several players in the middle. Could have easily laid it off, but went for glory and got nothing. Now here's Reykjavik at the other end, and Trey Cortista just sneaks it past. Well, how important is that going to be here near the end of the half? A great finish. I think Takechi lost track of it, had so many players immediately in front of them. But is that a decisive goal for Reykjavik? As we enter halftime, 2-1 the score. Both teams level on expected goals, but Reykjavik with the advantage in shots. This has been a fascinating match so far. You can see there from the XG story in the upper left, these teams absolutely neck and neck. This is the sort of match that you love as a neutral. A lot of chances at either end. And of course, that incredible goal by Durbatov did help a lot. Reykjavik up 2-1 as we start this second half. Have a chance to start the season in the best possible way with 3 points on the board. Shanghai, of course, were title contenders last season and will be looking to be the same this season. A loss early on would certainly not be the end of the world. They've still got 14 matches to play after this, but it would be a little bit of a setback, as here's Derbatov in the box, and that's blocked. Now Boda trying to counter. Here's Hohenhan, forward to Johnson. Del Vecchio tripped up by Rashford, and that is the free kick. Rashford with the free kick for Reykjavik, but right into the wall. "15 minutes gone in the second half, and Reykjavik starting to pull away in terms of... Shanghai, though, with more shots on target, it should be noted. 5-4. DeSoto sending it back to Takechi. All worked up well through the center of the pitch. Now here's Del Vecchio. Squares it to Hohenhan. And Hohenhan has to do better there. Sending that over the bar and just doesn't get the finish he needs. Well, with 10 minutes to play, the situation becoming a little more dire with each passing second for Shanghai. Bunsen finds Albinson. Forced to the corner flag, trying to find a teammate in the center, nothing doing. And Reykjavik passing it amongst themselves. That header, though, suspect. Now here's Johnson. The shot blocked and sent away. They'll try again, Shanghai. Bunsen trying to find Timotheus, but the run just too late and won't get there. Shaheen. There's it forward, good. But Skavgard to it first. Cross goes in, and that's headed at goal by Neymarinho, but Takechi with no trouble there. Reykjavik looking to hold on for these last few minutes. They had an awful season. This would go some way to exercising some of those demons, and it looks like they are going to hold on for the 3 points here. Reykjavik perhaps with one last chance if they can get the ball up the pitch, but back to Takechi. And that is going to be it. The final whistle goes, and Reykjavik with a strong opening to this season. 2-1 your final score here in Iceland. And that is about as good of a start as you can imagine for Reykjavik. Remember, nearly relegated last season, looking to avoid that fate again this season. Santos Neymarinho, your player of the match, assisting both of Reykjavik's goals. A phenomenal creative effort there, 6 key passes. Marcel Voda got the opener for Shanghai, but after that, it was just a rough day at the office for the team from China. They'll certainly like their chances to bounce back in the next few matches, but that is going to sting a little bit to open this season. 2-1 your final, Reykjavik United victorious. Next up, we have a showdown between the two promoted sides as CF Catalunya take on Jalayu Cosmico. Cosmico, of course, the winners of the SSL Shield just a little while ago over União Sao Paulo. Cosmico also the holders of the SSL Cup. That is a very prestigious feat, certainly. Their first cup, and they will hope not the last. Meanwhile, Catalunya, of course, with a very full history themselves, have had a little bit of time in the wilderness, but are back into the top division. Conventional wisdom will suggest that these teams might be the favorites for the drop, but both of these teams on their day capable of playing some really inspiring soccer, so it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with this new landscape in the majors in Division 1. We are underway here in Barcelona. Kanicki. Terrell. Emerson in the box. Squares it for Monroe, and that one's blocked immediately. A good chance, but couldn't quite take the shot. Cosmico, of course, promoted automatically as winners of Division 2 last season, season 24. Catalonia had to go through the relegation playoff in which they defeated Leafyside Celtic. Celtic went down to Division 2, as did CD Tenochtitlan, who were automatically relegated by virtue of finishing last in the division. So both these teams eager to prove themselves on this arguably higher level of competition as Salazar works that ball in, but Joaquim Benito Salazar is offside. At like 2%. Sends it back. It was intercepted, and now Catalonia coming forward. Here's Salazar. Salazar with the cross, far post. Work, sending it away. It falls to Nikolai Ahmed. And that is emphatic. Catalonia are back, and they have no intention of leaving again anytime soon. Here is that cross. Ahmed taking that shot beautifully past Mobek. Catalonia out to a 1-0 lead here in the first half. Well, I say that that was actually their first shot on target, if I'm not mistaken. Jalahu had a bit of an advantage, but neither team really creating much yet. Here's Catalonia. Fry taking the shot, blocked immediately, and that is going to be a corner for Catalonia. Catalonia, one of the oldest teams in the SSL, joined the league in Season 2. By contrast, Jalayu, joining the league in the Season 22 expansion, but it seems experience is going to trump youthful energy on this day as Catalonia make it 2. Fry dribbling into the box, gets around Mizukana, cuts around, and that's just individual brilliance there by Fry. What a move to get around the defense, get into the shooting position, and just let loose. And so Catalonia 2, Jalahu 0. Jalayu. One of these days I will get that pronunciation right, mark my words. Dejiron with the corner for Catalonia as we near halftime. Dejiron again. Detrella lets it run. Detrella, excuse me. I cannot pronounce anything today. Bot finds Ahmed. And that will do it for the first half. Catalonia out to a strong 2-0 lead on the scoreboard. Jalayu, Cosmico, let's just call them Cosmico, with that early chance that very nearly resulted in them getting an opener, but it wasn't to be, and Catalonia hanging tough, able to get those 2 shots in. What will the second half hold for these 2 teams? Both certainly capable of putting in a shift on their day, if last season was any indication. Jalayu, Cosmico, drawing the free kick there. Kanicki with the shot blocked and sent away. Beelzebub with the clearance. Okoro gaining possession of the ball for Cosmico. Now at like 2%. Gets it over the top to Kuniki. Emerson. And the shot by Muzukana takes a wicked deflection behind for a corner. 30 minutes to go. Cosmico down 2 goals. They need to make something count here. Chevalier. That pass from Mizukana not quite online. Terrell. Warwick forced back by Fry. Moretti sending it all the way back to the keeper, Mobek. We'll try the right side now at like 2%, having a little bit of success today. Gets to the end line. Pass back for Mizukana, under pressure immediately. Work to at like 2% in the center. To the edge of the box, and that was an ambitious shot that just could not stay down. Jenkins back to Slothenberg. Petrella with a good pass up the line to Desjardins. Gets around Chevalier. Fry with the shot forces. Well, would force the corner, but that is going to be, I believe, either offside or... well, probably offside, let's be honest. Warwick standing over this corner kick, finding Chevalier, takes that shot, but Kawasaki charging it down really well, has the ball now. Forward to Fry, but Warwick getting a foot in, Desjardins still with it. Back to Fry, already scored a goal. Here's Ahmed, also already scored. That one cleared, and Ahmed went down in the box hard, and the referee has given a penalty. VAR will check on it. Ahmed still down. And VAR gives the penalty. This will be a chance to really put this game out of reach. As Chevalier sees yellow for that challenge. Joga Benito standing at the penalty spot and slots it past Mobek. So Joga Benito makes it 3-0 to Catalonia. Well, Mobek seemed to guess the right way, but went way too... By the time he realized which way it was going, the ball was already past him. Emerson intercepting that pass, now at like 2%. Takes that shot, and that block took a lot of the velocity off of it. So Catalonia with a 3-goal lead and 10 minutes to play. Jalayu probably without a route to come back in this match. Benito nearly seizing that ball off of the goalie's foot. Warwick nipping the ball away from Fry. Mobek will try again. Moretti. Chevalier. Kaniki. Now Okoro. At like 2% into Emerson. Emerson gets around Jenkins, puts the cross in. Terrell heads it down. Warwick! And that was a really good chance for Warwick. Possibly Jalayu's best of the day. But it went wide, and that will come to nothing. Emerson and Ahmed goes down in the box. Again, it's another penalty if VAR gives it. And this would be insult to injury at this point. The game more or less already decided. And the penalty given again. So Bonito with another chance from the spot. Sank the first one a little bit ago. And again, the second one pulled in. A bonito brace makes it 4-0 to Catalunya. Mobek getting down faster that time, but this time guessed the wrong way. With a very dire-looking 4-0 scoreline. Warwick trying to get around Fry. Shot. It's not too far off, but off it was. In the dying seconds, Monroe stealing it away from Biel-Zabat into midfield, and the referee blows for full time. And CF Catalunya making a real statement here on Matchday 1. Jalayu Cosmica, winners of the SSL Cup, winners of the SSL Shield, but losers of this match, and in emphatic fashion. 4-0 your final here in Barcelona. Andres De Giron is your player of the match. 3 key passes, 2 clear-cut chances, and some really impressive dribbling makes De Giron your player of the match here for Catalunya. Well, it was an opener to forget for Cosmico. Their debut in Division 1, certainly not what they were hoping for, not what they were expecting, I would imagine. We'll have to see how they pick themselves up from that, as it only gets harder from here. Catalunya, your winners, 4-0. Now we move on to our final match of the day, and it is, quite frankly, a bit of a heavyweight main event here, as União Sao Paulo and Hollywood FC, two of the most, really two of the most dominant teams in the league, have been trading the league title back and forth effectively for a few seasons. They'll be showing down here in the final match of Matchday 1 here in Division 1. Sao Paulo, your defending SSL Division 1 Majors champions. Hollywood, of course, with a few recent titles of their own. Both of these teams know what it takes to win a league title, and they know that one of their biggest opponents in winning this season's title is staring across at them on the other side of the pitch. This could be a very, very intriguing matchup. These two teams know each other very well. Certainly going to be exciting to watch. It usually is. Of course, up top for Sao Paulo, Julian Rubio, that lethal striker. Hollywood, of course, not without stars of their own. Both teams know they're going to have to be on their A game to get points out of this match. It usually translates to an absolute spectacle for the neutral. And usually a few years off the end of the life of fans of either team. We are underway here in Brazil as União Sao Paulo kick off their title defense. Here's Nelson finding Hashimoto with a good diagonal pass, and that shot into the side netting. Dobra with the free kick for Hollywood. Cotswold heads it in, and that's behind for a goal kick. Never really troubling Sao Paulo's defense. Skovgaard now with a corner for Hollywood. Sends it near post, headed out to Kupinas. Dobra head there to deflect, and that time tipped over by Aguilera. McGray now to deliver another set piece. Up in the air, Hefeweizen, and Aguilera holds on. Cormier. Dobra trying to hit it over the top, but Kupinas was offside. Still with it. Calderon crosses in, cleared away. Skavgard trying to recycle possession. Hefeweizen. Cormier, now Mograine. Can't get around Mulder. Skavgard trying to head it down. Nelson clears. Again, Hollywood with the patient build-up. Looking for their chance, and they might have had it here. Here's Moff in behind. Takes the shot, and Tommy Moff might have the opener. VAR is reviewing it. And it will stand. And so Hollywood up 1-0, drawing first blood here. Moff able to get in behind the defensive line and just puts it out of reach of Aguilera at the opposite post. Let's look at this again to check for offside. Moff only just offside. Kupinas was in an offside position, but was not involved in the play, and VAR, I would imagine, ruling that Kupinas not affecting the outcome of that play. Cotswold sends that free kick over the bar. Excuse me, it seems it was deflected, so it will be a corner. And that one headed away. Goal kick. Walverson finding Cormier. Hollywood going to build out from the back. Mograine nearly losing out courtesy of Rubio. But Hollywood still with possession. Now Kupinas. Calderon gets the end line. Crosses. A bit of a scrabble in the goal mouth, but still bobbling around, and Mulder eventually putting it out of safety. Very nearly a heart-and-mouth moment there for Sao Paulo, but able to get it out of there. Hollywood very much on the front foot now. An uncharacteristically shaky Sao Paulo, having to withstand a lot of pressure right now. Peixoto loses out. Martel with a good challenge, and now Kupin is trying to take advantage. Dobra forces the corner kick. Skavgard to take near post. Handed away by Cotswold, but Skavgard still gets to it. Ultimately sent back. And another corner opportunity. Near post, Ahoy, uncontested, heads that away. Skavgard still with it, though, and rips a shot well wide. And that is going to be a huge blow for Sao Paulo. Nerve de Groot forced off via injury. De Groot, one of the most threatening parts of that Sao Paulo attack. Well, their attack have lost something now. Here's Dobra crossing in. Kupinas was there, but so was Aguilera. Patrick's long pass intercepted. Calderon bringing it back. Cross goes in, and it's worked through to Pete Martel. The veteran doubles Hollywood's advantage just before halftime. Well, it was a good run by Calderon to get around Ahoy. Gets to the end line, crosses in with some fizz. Moff tripped up, couldn't get to it, but Martel was right there behind. Great attacking movement by Hollywood, great positioning, and they have the lead 2-0 as we enter halftime. They have been all over Sao Paulo. The Brazilian side not had a chance to breathe so far. No shots on target yet. An impressive performance thus far by Hollywood, but can they keep it up in the second half? You see there in the upper left, that XG story showing Hollywood continuing to pile on pressure. So we are underway here in the second half. Hollywood looking to hold on to what would be a very important opening day victory over what will probably be one of their title rivals. Cotswold gets to the end line, floats the cross in, headed away, and now Hollywood might have numbers. Martel leading the charge, but loses out to Aoi. Ball switched to Mulder. End line, cross goes in. And again headed away, and again Hollywood could break. Martel carrying it through midfield. 1-2 with Moff. And Martel going down in the box. A strong challenge from Kirkpatrick. Well, it was hard to tell from this angle, but this might be a penalty here. And it is. Well, that is the last thing Sao Paulo needed right now. Kirkpatrick's reckless challenge gives Martel this chance from the penalty spot. And it's a chance Martel will take. Second goal of the game for Pete Martel. And a textbook penalty by Martel, sending Aguilera the wrong way. Well done by Hollywood to make it 3-0. Sao Paulo have to find an answer fast. Martel into Mograine. Martel again from the edge of the area. Good challenge there by Head. And Moff with another shot, forcing the corner. Now here's Skovgaard. Near post, headed away. And that is going to be out for a throw-in. Patrick. Now Peixoto. Hashimoto. The end line puts the cross in. A good chance there for Rubio, but couldn't get the header on target. Rubio, usually such a strong finisher, but unable to make it count that time as time winding down. Super sub puts the cross in. Wallerson with no trouble. Wallerson under pressure from Rubio to try and get rid of this, and does eventually throw it away. Dobra hits it forward for Moff, who's behind the line. Martel takes the shot on a hat trick, but that's not going to get him there. Peixoto. Hashimoto. Cross goes in and headed away, and Moff coming forward again for Hollywood. Already on a goal. Looking for a second. Good long run by Moff, but that shot just skids into Aguilera's hands. Time nearly at an end here. Hollywood looks set to have a very convincing 3-0 win over Sao Paulo. And that will do it. The home side defeated soundly, 3-0 your final. Hollywood with a strong start to this season 25. Alex Calderon is your player of the match with 2 assists and 3 clear-cut chances created. Martel, of course, with the brace. And Tommy Moff with a great goal, and just an all-around strong performance by Hollywood. Sao Paulo really coming out slow to start this season. They'll really need to get some results on the board. This was not it. Well, Hollywood Just an impressive performance all around. Goals, of course, by Pete Martell and Tommy Moff, as they record 3 points to start the season. Well, that's going to be it for Matchday 1. Before we go, let's recap the scores and take a look at, well, really there's not a lot to say on the table, but Reykjavik United, CF Catalonia, and Hollywood FC all starting the season the best way that they could have, with 3 points on the board. Still way too early to say anything about this season, but it is a very fascinating ride that we have just begun, and I can only imagine it's going to get even better. We hope you'll join us later on in this season. Until then, this has been Metafiction. Take care.